Welcome everyone, it's the Crypto Lark, and today we're going to be doing Dash as part of our Where Are They Now series. Before we get into what Dash is and what they want to do, a massive thank you to all of you for being part of the cryptocurrency community. Your support makes all the difference, so thank you so much for continuing the journey with me. And you do have to realize that this is not financial advice. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. So what the heck is Dash and what does Dash want to do? Well, let's go over some of the technical features first before we get into some of the concerns and really the final opinion on if Dash is going to be able to make it in this highly competitive space. So the features of Dash, we have Insta Send. So this gives you those very fast transactions. They're aiming to compete with the major credit card players in terms of finality of a transaction and also transactions per second. We have private send options. Now this is great for versatility and can be very attractive for a wider range of use cases that cannot be offered by a simple public ledger or a straight private ledger. Dash is using a mixer for its privacy options. Now let's imagine that you are an employer and you want to pay your employees. Maybe your employees don't want you looking in and knowing exactly how much money you have in your bank account. So this privacy option can be very useful in such a situation. Fees on Dash are very low. And in fact, recently the masternodes voted to make them even lower. Now having low fees is really, really great, particularly for customers. I mean, Dash and accepting cryptocurrency in general is pretty good for merchants because they don't have any of those chargeback fees, for example, and they don't have to pay off a pound of flesh to the credit card companies. But if I am a customer and I'm just buying a cup of coffee, well, if I have to pay $2 or $3 to send that transaction through, I'm probably not going to want to pay with cryptocurrency. But if the fees are low enough, I'm only paying a few cents, then it becomes an attractive option. Dash Evolution is the PayPal-like innovation that Dash wants to introduce. They want to make cryptocurrency so easy to use that your grandma can do it. They're introducing things like multiple account options. You have your Dash savings account, your Dash current account, for example. They can also give the ability to send money to a contact. So grandma can send $100 to grandson instead of having to go through that steep learning curve of using cryptographic addresses. There'll also be an app store for making it easier to access a list of merchants that do take Dash, as well as moderation services. The moderation services being particularly compelling for the use cases of e-commerce, because we know that there are all kinds of disputes that can happen in e-commerce, so to actually have that service being built into Evolution is very important. Currently, Dash is at 56 transactions per second. That's not bad. It's well below others, but it's also well above Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, this is really nothing compared to the global credit card network, which is what Dash really wants to be competing with. However, the CEO, Ryan Taylor, has said that they are working on scalability in order to achieve these kind of levels. There was also a recent stress test for Dash with some very encouraging results. 2 megabyte blocks. This was also recently expanded by the masternodes. We could see bigger blocks for Dash in the future. Speaking of blocks, this is a proof of work coin using the X11 algorithm. The maximum supply is 18.9 million, with less than half of those being mined at this time. There is a very strong network of global miners, and there are nearly 5,000 masternodes. Now, Dash Core runs Dash, and the masternodes have recently been given legal ownership of Dash Core, which I think is really positive for Dash and decentralization. The governance model ensures that Dash can go the long haul. The Dash masternodes require you to have 1,000 Dash. Holy cow, 1,000 Dash, that is super expensive. But the rewards are also good. Currently, Dash masternodes receive 45% of the block reward. This is, of course, distributed amongst all the nodes. 45% of the block reward goes to miners, and another 10% goes to funding proposals. Now, the masternodes vote on these community proposals. Those could be things like advertising or funding some programs that will help spread awareness about Dash, for example, and they also vote on protocol upgrades, which is how we saw the 1 megabyte block turn into a 2 megabyte block and how we saw those fees getting lowered. Dash has been working very, very hard on getting better adoption. Currently, there are a few thousand merchants globally that do accept Dash. They've been expanding into East Africa. They have a very strong presence in South America, particularly focusing on Venezuela. Lots of meetups have been going on there, introducing people to Dash, as well as large merchant acceptance. There's an expanding network of ATMs, currently hundreds of them globally, where you can buy Dash. They're also really working on strong branding with things like billboards and in-flight ads. Dash's partner network is also growing all the time. Now we have the ASU, or the Arizona State University. They are helping Dash work on the issue, particularly of scalability. We also have rewards.com, get money back in Dash, BlockCypher, Bitwage, PayCent, and their 36 million users. And they're also making inroads into the cannabis industry with a recent partnership with Alt36. They're also sponsoring alternative media and certain sports people. Now, what are my concerns about Dash? Well, the masternode system and the governance system that the masternode system enables is not a one-man, one-vote kind of system. It is a group of wealthy individuals who decide what will happen to the network. Anyone with less than 1,000 Dash really has no voice. So essentially, Dash is a bit of an oligarchy when it comes to it, because you have to have that very large investment to be able to decide on the network upgrades and funding proposals. The treasury model itself for funding proposals, well, largely having been successful, has also had some problems in terms of dishonest actors seeking funding, but a new structure has been proposed whereby masternodes will hopefully have a little bit more of result control over the process. The proof of work network has also come under intense criticism. Now, some people might point to the Dash ASICs that happened last year, where they went from being super profitable to not profitable at all. That's not actually Dash's fault. That, of course, is the fault of the producers of those ASIC machines. The bigger criticism of Dash comes from its founding days, when a bug in the code allowed for 2 million Dash to be quick mined. And this was not a pre-mine. A lot of people like to use the word pre-mine. This was not a pre-mine, but a quick mine. Many people still hold this against Dash even to this day, in spite of the fact that many of those coins that were quick mined were actually sold on exchanges long, long ago. And of course, this does not have much bearing on the current network. And this criticism, of course, also casually dismisses the fact that Satoshi mined 1 million Bitcoin in the early days, still holds those Bitcoin, but you don't really hear many people complaining about that. In terms of competition for Dash, the competition is very serious. This is a highly competitive space in terms of delivering the global cryptocurrency to challenge the credit card companies. PivX may be the closest competitor in terms of exact offering. Now, the technology and the consensus mechanisms are different, but there's that same focus on optional privacy, mainstream adoption, governance, and brand recognition. Currently, Dash has wider adoption than PivX, but the masternodes are way, way more expensive currently. We have other privacy coins, though, like Monero. Monero does not scale as well currently due to the data size of transactions and does lack that governance model that has really, I think, been a real benefit for Dash. And of course, what about Bitcoin? Doesn't the existence of Bitcoin make Dash useless? Well, Bitcoin does have a bigger brand name and is currently working on getting those super crazy low fees, just like some currencies like Dash have, not to mention, of course, increasing speed with the Lightning Network. However, Bitcoin does lack that private send feature, although you could always be using a Tor-enabled wallet, but nevertheless, it is not a native feature. And of course, we have seen Bitcoin experiencing many pains due to the lack of inherent governance, resulting in very divisive splits of the community, particularly Bitcoin Cash. Split has been really, really rough on Bitcoin overall. And finally, another concern is a potential regulatory movement against privacy coins. Now, Dash is privacy enabled, not privacy inherent, but nevertheless, if we do see legislators move against privacy coins, it may mean that the major exchanges will no longer list them, at least the ones that want to be regulatorily compliant. But it hasn't happened yet. And then again, of course, there will be decentralized exchanges where these can continue to live, but that would definitely make it harder in terms of adoption. Final thoughts on Dash. Dash has really proven its staying power over time. Their partner network is continuing to grow, and they're able to move from strength to strength as the flexible governance system allows for easy upgrades. But the competition to be the major cryptocurrency is huge, and Bitcoin dominance continues to reign supreme. But those are just my thoughts on Dash. Let me know what you think about Dash down below in the comments section. Thumbs up the video and share these videos around the internet to help our community grow. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.